Coming up on First at 4, one Southern Kentucky man accused of driving drunk and causing a deadly crash last week appears in a Laurel County courtroom. And more than 120 students from the mountains receive scholarship awards as part of the WYMT Food City Mountain Classic.
Plus, we are tracking some wintry mischief later tonight. Those details coming up as Mountain News First at 4 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, the man accused of driving drunk and causing a deadly crash in Laurel County last week was in court this morning. Wesley Allen is charged with murder in the death of Fred Johnson. Deputy Brad Mink testified that Allen was driving a GMC truck that crashed head-on into a Honda that Johnson was driving. Johnson died at the scene, and the deputy said Allen told first responders how he had been drinking alcohol before the crash.
Under Miranda warning and consenting to give a statement, Wesley Allen said that he had been working on the farm all day with animals, and while working he had consumed beer throughout the day.
During cross-examination, Mink told Allen's attorney that Allen had also admitted to using a cell phone just before the crash. Probable cause was found, and Allen will learn in January if he is being indicted.
Well, after a dry start to this Tuesday, we are watching out for moisture to increase and more showers are possible into this afternoon, also into this evening. Let's take a live look at First Alert Pinpoint Doppler. You can see for most of us we are dry, but mainly north of Highway 80, watching out for a few spotty showers. Zooming into the Mountain Parkway, a wet go at it right now for Powell County, also into Estill County, down into Lee, also Wolfe County as well, not too far away from Campton, a few showers, and tracking some more light to moderate showers from Menifee County into Morgan County as well. And giving you that first alert for Paintsville, also Prestonsburg, a few showers knocking on the door there as more spotty sprinkles continue into Martin County and into Mingo, also Logan counties as well. And again, watching out for more spotty sprinkles as we go into this afternoon, also this evening. But for now, those temperatures are well above freezing in the upper 40s and lower 50s, down to 43 though for Hazard, also Pikeville, and 50 over in Somerset, also Manchester. Now, as we go into this evening, also tonight, as the atmosphere cools, watching out for a changeover from rain showers to a wintry mix and maybe some snow showers, especially in those higher elevations. All those details plus some details on some 60s later on this week and possibly a few thunderstorms by this weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. The WYMT Food City Mountain Classic Scholarship Committee hosted its annual scholarship awards today, providing more than 120 students with funding for their futures. The award ceremony invited this year's recipients to the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg for a lunch and recognition ceremony, a day of celebrating the scholars and the donors. Belfry head football coach Philip Haywood gave the keynote speech, saying the local investment in the students cannot be overstated.
This is just a great honor for the kids. It's a stepping stone for them, and having been a counselor for many years as well, I'm very much involved, not as directly now as I once was, but I know exactly what this can do for young people.
We will have much more from the event, which I just returned from, and the students it invests in, coming up tonight at 6. Always a great event. 2 Appalachian colleges announced they have received a grant to help with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics pathways. The National Science Foundation granted the University of Virginia's College at Wise, Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College, and the University of Virginia $100,000. UVA Wise Associate Professor Karen Carter says the grant money will go to growing STEM pathways for students.
We are trying to determine what's the best pathway forward. So they've had a couple of the legs that they've achieved some scholarship monies, and they've been having great success. And so this time we want to continue that.
Carter says that next step would be introducing their students to various industries and allowing them to build connections. We'll have more on how the grant money will be used tonight at 6. In Washington, Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell is among the lawmakers pushing back against how the Biden administration is backing a funding request by the president of Ukraine. But many Republicans will not budge without changes to border security policy. CBS's Ed O'Keefe has more from Washington.
The White House is warning Congress there will be no more weapons and equipment for the Ukrainian military unless lawmakers pass additional funding by the end of the year.
We're running out of money, and we are nearly out of time.
The nearly two-year war, plus the conflict in the Middle East, led President Biden to ask Congress for $106 billion in emergency spending to help Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, plus more money for border security. There's near universal agreement Israel needs more aid, but Ukraine funding has divided Republicans, so they're trying to get something in return. New immigration policy, including changes to asylum procedures. Democrats and Republicans working on a potential compromise haven't reached a deal, so the White House is turning up the pressure.
Any member of Congress who does not support funding for Ukraine is voting for an outcome that will make it easier for Putin to prevail.
That kind of talk doesn't go over well with Republicans on Capitol Hill, even those supportive of Ukraine.
From the White House to the Capitol, Washington Democrats are wasting time with bizarre public scoldings.
Lead Democratic negotiator Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut says there's currently no path forward for the funding bill if Republicans keep their border demands.
I think our allies should be very worried about what Republicans are doing. Ukraine's too important because this is the future of the world.
Now, while Ukrainian President Zelensky will address lawmakers virtually, other key members of the Biden administration will be there in person, including Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who traveled to Ukraine last month. Ed O'Keefe, CBS News, the White House.
The fourth Republican presidential primary debate is set for tomorrow evening. It will take place at the University of Alabama. To get on the debate stage, candidates must get at least 6% in 2 approved national polls or 6% in 1 poll from 2 separate states. Candidates must also get at least 80,000 unique donors.
You learn a lot. I mean, no matter what side you are, I think it's a great learning opportunity if you don't know anything.
It will be the smallest debate stage lineup so far this year. Former President Donald Trump, the frontrunner for the GOP nomination, will skip the event as he has all previous debates. Trump will instead attend a fundraiser in Florida for a super PAC supporting his candidacy. Coming up on First at 4, the death toll continues to increase after a cyclone batters parts of coastal India.
Plus, the weather pattern remains active through this weekend. Your First Alert forecast after this break.